People say, I think that this thing's a legend.
Yeah.
Okay? And they got it from someplace else, and they just copycatted it over into the Bible.
Yeah, it's interesting. When we see legends in mythology, it always begins with once upon a time.
Right.
In a land, in a far distant land, kind of the myths of history. That's not how the Gospels are presented. The Gospels are ancient biographies, which are written to convey what actually occurred. And so here we have two of the four Gospels, Matthew and Luke, specifically describing the birth story. Mark doesn't mention it, which is interesting, but Mark doesn't talk about the early childhood of Jesus. And Mark also has an account where someone refers to Jesus as the son of Mary. Well, that suggests there was something unusual about the birth, because you would normally refer to that person as the son of Joseph, the father. Even if the father's deceased.
Yeah, Jewish society, you never referred to the guy as the son of the woman.
Right.
You always did it to the man.
Right. So there's a recognition in Mark that this was an unusual
Something's
birth.
going on, right.
Yeah, and then in John, now John is the last gospel that was written. He doesn't repeat a lot of the historical data that's in the first three gospels.
Right.
But it's interesting that John had a follower by the name of Ignatius. In fact, Ignatius was appointed by John to be the bishop of Antioch. He sat under John's teachings, and in the year 108, he wrote a letter. He was on his way to being executed. And he wrote, Jesus was truly born of a virgin. Where did he get that idea?
That's
he was
right.
a student of John.
Right.
So John wasn't disputing it. You can't say, oh, because he didn't talk about it in his gospel, it didn't happen. No, he doesn't report a lot of the historical data about Jesus.
Yeah. I want to back up what you said here, because I was just looking at my notes, and Luke 2:6 says that the time for the baby to be born came while they were in Bethlehem.
Right.
It wasn't an emergency situation where she was on this donkey and just hoping to make it, the fact is, hope we can get there before this baby pops out. The fact is, no, they were there. They were in the family room. The family probably cleared out, and the thing is, all of a sudden the baby is born. And they have this trench that actually was a manger in the room, so that if they wanted to let some of the family pets come on up in there, they could actually eat there.
That's
but
right.
The fact is, they cleared those guys out, and the fact is, you have this baby lying in the clean hay right there.
Yeah, totally consistent with what we would expect in Jewish culture. So,
Right.
And you talked about the accuracy of the Gospels and is it reliable history? The other thing is these Gospels and the New Testament as a whole claim to be rooted in eyewitness accounts.